We will close our discussion about the design of heat exchangers with a discussion about the baffle arrangement, how the baffle arrangement is designed. So baffles are essentially the support, they have serving two functions. One is to support the tubes, and secondly, they control the flow of the shell side fluid around the tube bundle. So depending on, so that allows you to increase the effectiveness or efficiency of the heat transfer. There are different types of baffle. The main types are the cut baffles. So the baffle may be cut. uh, it may not encompass the entire tube bundle, all the tubes. So the cut baffles, as shown in this particular picture, they are known as single segmental baffles. So single segmental baffles, as indicated in the first figure, have the alternate arrangements. So the cut first baffle has got cut on the right hand side. The subsequent one has the baffle cut on the left hand side. Then again right hand side, and then again left hand side. So you can see the same sequence in the figure. So this is left hand side and this is right hand side. So that way you get the alternate baffle arrangements. So if you look uh, from the top, so if these are the tube sheets and the tubes are arranged in this manner. In this particular arrangements, the baffles are as shown here. So this is one baffle, this is another baffle, third baffle, and so on. So you get the baffles which are having their cut in the opposite direction. So if you are in supplying the fluid, shell side fluid from this direction, the fluid must take a turn at this side. So you will have the fluid flow which is making a cross flow or perpendicular to tube layout between each of the tube baffles. So that increases the heat transfer coefficient and the efficiency of exchanger increases. But at the same time, you have to pay in terms of the pressure drop. Since you are making the fluid to flow through different change the directions, the pressure drop on the shell side will be more. So that you require a higher capacity compressor or pump to make up for that pressure drop. So a balance has to be made between the heat transfer and the pressure drop. Similarly, there are double segmented baffles. In double segmented, one set of baffles has got the circular sectors, the outer circular sectors, and the second set of baffle has got the middle segment, which is a circle with the outer side chopped off. And this arrangement keeps on alternating. So you have arrangement which is given by this diagram. So this diagram exemplifies the arrangement. So the fluid flow would be in this manner. So for certain cases, this gives you a better performance. Or you can have triple segmented baffle, which is an extension of the similar idea. So these are the different types of baffle arrangements which are used for different types of applications, and a proper balance between the pressure drop and gain in heat transfer efficiency, it is made to select the proper baffle arrangement. When you are designing the baffles, actually there are no strength calculations for the design. What you use are certain guidelines which are given in TIMA. So some of them I'm just bringing them here for the information. The baffle hole diameter is one of the important aspects. So you have, for example, this is a baffle through which there is a baffle hole, and inside the baffle hole you have the tube which is passing. So this is the tube which is passing, and there is a clearance between the hole ID and the tube OD. So this is the clearance which plays an important role. if you give too large a clearance, so if this clearance is large, you will have tube not getting properly supported and you will have the tube bundle vibration. And if you give it small, you will have difficulty in assembly. So it is difficult to assemble. And also you have, it is a chance that uh, during the whatever vibration that happens, the tubes will get damaged. So more chance of damage. So more chance of damage to tubes during the vibration. So that is the significance of the tube hole diameter and its clearance. So it is an important parameter, and depending on the unsupported length, so if unsupported length is small, you provide a larger clearance. If the unsupported length is larger, then you provide smaller. Because with smaller unsupported length, that is distance between the two baffles, if it is short, and if you give very tight clearance, then it is difficult for the tubes to be inserted during the tube bundle assembly. So it has the manufacturing aspects attached to it. The thickness of baffle again depends on the shell ID and the unsupported shell length. Here the unsupported shell length means the distance between two baffles. So what is the maximum distance between any two baffles, and what is the shell ID, which in turn means what is the number of tubes. It determines the thickness of the baffle. That means how much load the baffle will have to take. So for small diameter and small unsupported length, the thickness is about 3.2 millimeter. This is the smallest or one of the smaller size baffles. Whereas for larger diameter and larger unsupported length, you have the baffle very thick, that is about 19.1 millimeter. So these numbers are converted from inches, that is why they are in decimal. The number and size of tie rods. So tie rods are the one which we have seen in the animated movie for the manufacturing sequence. In order to hold the baffles from each other, you have the tie rod structure which is bolted, which is attached to the tube sheet by generally by screwing to the tube sheet. So these rods are the one which hold the baffles onto them, and they are separated from each other by means of spacer tubes. So the how many number of tie rods you will require and what is the size of those tie rods again depends on the diameter of the shell. So for small diameters, you have, it is recommended to have 9.5 millimeter diameter tie rod and 4 number of tie rods. And for larger diameter, you have larger diameter tie rods and larger numbers. So that is these are the general guidelines based on which the design of the baffles and the associated component, that is the tie rods, can be done. So this is some summary how the baffle configuration is designed for an heat exchanger. So let's summarize. So to summarize, in this particular session, we have seen different types of heat exchangers, the different service conditions that they meet to, the design codes such as ASME and the TIMA or Tubular Exchanger Manufacturers Association as a design guidelines. And then we have seen into a brief manufacturing sequence and also the constructionally important parts of an heat exchanger. Later on, we have seen the calculations, the simplified calculation for the tube sheet thickness. So tube sheet is designed uh, as a preliminary level based on the bending load acting on it because of the pressure and shear stress failure of the tube sheet. So in both these cases, the tube sheet is considered as a perforated plate because of the presence of the holes. So the efficiency, the ligament efficiency of this perforation is taken into account in these calculations. We have also seen that given number of tubes and size of tubes and the type of layout, how to estimate the tube bundle diameter, and from that the shell diameter can be estimated. And finally, we have seen how to estimate how to configure a baffle arrangement for an heat exchanger in terms of the size of the baffles and hole diameter in the baffles and the size of tie rods. So that concludes the session on mechanical design of the heat exchangers, a basic introductory session on the design. And if you have any difficulties, please let me know. We will meet again in the next session. Till then, goodbye everyone.